Welcome to Gabriel Industries Health and Safety Orientation. You are probably wondering, I am sitting here watching this orientation video and Murray, the general manager, is not right beside me. Does this mean that safety is not that important at Gabriel Industries? Safety is very important to us. Everyone owns safety. We have built safety into our daily operations of our organization. It is an integrated system, which means that it does not stand alone. Health and safety has no beginnings and no end. Next question you are probably asking is, does Gabriel Industries have a safety person? The answer to that question is yes. James is our health and safety representative. He has a number of duties he performs for health and safety. He represents the health and safety interest of workers, participates in hazard assessments, participates in and reviews inspections, and makes recommendations to our general manager, Murray. He can be contacted through our group chat, email, or by a phone call. Your orientation has 3 parts. The first part is called the safety concept part. This is where you will be informed of a number of important safety points, watching this video and reviewing and signing some safety documents. The second is a familiarization tour of the office/warehouse and showing where the first aid kit is, etc. The third part is how to use SiteDocs. This is our electronic health and safety system we use to manage our health and safety program. Before we get ahead of ourselves, we want to make sure you're aware of your 3 OHS rights. Let's watch a short video.
Welcome to Eye on Safety, presented by the Canadian Centre for Occupational Health and Safety.
Hey there, if you have a job, there's something important you should know.
Did you know?
Did you know that?
As a worker in Canada,
you have rights. Rights.
We have 3 basic rights.
1.
You have the right to know about all the hazards in your job.
Your employer or supervisor has to tell you about anything in your job that can hurt you.
And they have to make sure you have the information you need to work safely.
2.
You have the right to participate.
Yeah, participate.
You have the right to take part in keeping your workplace healthy and safe.
You can be part of the Health and Safety Committee or a Health and Safety representative.
You also have the right to participate in training and information sessions to help you do your job safely.
3.
You have the right to refuse unsafe work.
If you think your job may be putting you in danger,
You have an obligation to tell your supervisor about it.
Report the unsafe situation to management.
If the situation is not corrected
And you feel your health and safety is at risk, you have the right to refuse to do the work.
and you can't get in trouble from your boss,
Or your company.
Not if it's unsafe.
Not if it's unsafe.
not if it's unsafe.
So now you know.
Now you know. Now you know.
You have the right to know.
The right to participate.
And the right to refuse unsafe work.
So, now that you know your 3 basic rights, exercise them.
As our job requires you to be at various work sites, we want to ensure that you have our health and safety information at your fingertips in case you want to reference it. We have it in our resource section in SiteDocs. We also have a health and safety bulletin board in SiteDocs as well as in the office. Commitment is key to our success, and our commitment comes in the form of our health and safety policy, which is endorsed by our general manager, Murray. It is Gabriel Industries' commitment for the protection of the health and safety of its employees and those persons who we share our work areas with. We want you to be safe. The health and safety policy lists a number of different responsibilities depending on your job position. All employees are responsible to abide by our health and safety program requirements. In addition to our written commitment to safety in our health and safety policy, you will soon find out that our commitment is not just words on paper. We demonstrate our commitment to safety in a variety of ways. One way is by dedicating money in our budget for safety items such as personal protective equipment, training, and the maintenance of SiteDocs. Just a reminder, there is no job more important to be done if it can't be done safely. As a part of our team, each and every one of us have responsibilities and accountabilities when it comes to health and safety. Responsibilities may vary depending on the task or role you play. Our general manager is responsible for all of the health and safety at our worksite and delegates this responsibilities throughout the organization. I want to highlight to you your main responsibilities as a worker. You are responsible to look after the safety of yourself, your coworkers, and other persons in the vicinity of your work area. You must wear personal protective equipment or use equipment required for the work site. Another responsibility is to participate and complete the training that has been assigned to you and apply the training. And finally, you must report an unsafe act or condition which cannot be addressed to Murray or the designated person at the prime contractor's site. With responsibilities come accountability. Remember this diagram? On the other side of this triangle comes accountability for the responsibilities. It goes from the bottom up. Health and safety accountability comes in a few ways at the TLC. With responsibilities come accountability. Remember this diagram? On the other side of this triangle comes accountability for responsibilities. It goes from the bottom up. Health and safety accountability comes in a few ways at Gabriel Industries. One way is through your performance evaluation. There is a section dedicated to health and safety. The criteria in the performance evaluation is not difficult to achieve. Murray can show you the evaluation criteria if you want. Another way is through monitoring. As we mentioned earlier, each of us own safety. Monitoring can come in the form of positive or negative. If you see someone doing something positive, let them know. We celebrate our successes. Should you observe someone performing an unsafe act or an unsafe condition without proper hazard controls, you may stop the person if you feel comfortable and address, or otherwise contact Murray or the designated person at the prime contractor's site. Before we start to go further, we need to discuss health and safety training. At Gabriel Industries, our training comes in the form of either online or classroom. When you first begin at Gabriel Industries, you will be assigned standardized training, which is internal to our organization. You may be assigned training based on requirements outlined in a prime contractor's contract. All workers receive hazard assessment and control training. Understanding what a hazard is extremely important, as hazards are a situation, condition, or thing that may be dangerous to health and safety. The success of our hazard program lies with you. We have developed a number of different processes to address hazards. All workers receive training on hazard assessment and control. Understanding what a hazard is extremely important, as hazards are a situation, condition, or thing that may be dangerous to health and safety. The success of our hazard program lies with you. We have developed a number of different processes to address hazards. One way you will be involved is through our formal hazard assessment. Our formal hazard assessment is a detailed look at your hazards associated with your job. You will be asked to review this document and sign in Site Docs. You may be asked to review your job position's formal hazard assessment annually, as this is part of our process to ensure accuracy of hazards and hazard controls. Another way is through a field-level hazard assessment, which is completed in Site Docs. This hazard assessment gets completed before work starts at a temporary work site, at a site where conditions change, or when non-routine work is added. The reason you complete an FLHA is to ensure that we have controls in place to mitigate the risk of you getting hurt. As part of ensuring that work is performed safe, we have developed safe work practices. These are the do's and don'ts of how to do a job. A competency test is a practical demonstration to confirm that you understand the training. We do not conduct competency tests on all tasks or equipment or machinery that you may operate. We have a set standard which we follow. We will let you know if this applies to you. You will have the ability to have input during the competency testing. So far, we have addressed your role in the hazard program and safe work practices. Murray and James conduct the office/warehouse inspection annually. Although the role of preventative maintenance does not apply to every job position, we thought we should mention it as it is a type of inspection. You are responsible for maintenance of your driver's license. Have you ever bent over a bench for a long period of time or carried a heavy bag from your vehicle into the house and have felt a strain or pull in your arm? These sprains and strain injuries can affect you later on. Ergonomics is adapting the work site to you. We work to eliminate these musculoskeletal injuries. Let's watch a short video about ergonomics.
When people hear ergonomics, they often think of this. But in truth, ergonomics is simply fitting the workplace to the worker, rather than the other way around. And that includes lots of workplaces: construction, manufacturing, transportation, healthcare. You get the idea. So today, we're going to cover some ergonomic basics that apply to virtually any workplace. These include proper posture, managing forces, and excessive repetitive motion. Ready? Let's start with posture. Sitting, standing, walking, it really doesn't matter. Proper bone and joint alignment is key. So straighten up that back, keeping ears, shoulders, and hips in a straight line. Good. Now squat by hinging at the hip. Keep everything aligned. Now sit. Perfect. Maintaining that posture through your day and work, any work, will reduce fatigue, eliminate strains, decrease stress on joints and ligaments, and have you feeling great. If posture is good, forces are evil. Why? Because they assault your posture constantly. There are lift and carry forces, grip forces, push and pull forces, and just plain old gravity. Hey, let's help you out with this. To avoid injury, don't lift, pull, or push too much. Let your posture guide you. And if need be, get help or use a hand truck or other tool. Also, move that body. If you stand up a lot for work, sit. If you've been sitting, stand up. Every change is an opportunity to realign and think about your posture. Our last Ergo 101 topic is repetitive motion. Doing the same task over and over and over and over and over well, you get the point. Repetitive motions from jobs like these can cause carpal tunnel syndrome, joint problems, poor circulation, and more. Fortunately, these injuries are easy to avoid. First, by arranging your work area to fit you and support good posture, and second, by stretching. Stretches like this, or this, or this, well, maybe not that, every 30 to 60 minutes can make a world of difference and prevent injury. Show off. Let's recap. Ergonomics is all about fitting your work environment to you. So set up your station to support good posture. Be mindful of posture, reduce forces, and take breaks to stretch and realign yourself. Do all that, and you'll be on your way to being more efficient, more productive, and healthier. When people hear ergonomics, they often think of this. But in truth, ergonomics is simply fitting the workplace to the worker, rather than the other way around. And that includes lots of workplaces: construction, manufacturing, transportation, healthcare. You get the idea. So today, we're going to cover some ergonomic basics that apply to virtually any workplace. These include proper posture, managing forces, and excessive repetitive motion. Ready? Let's start with posture. Sitting, standing, walking, it really doesn't matter. Proper bone and joint alignment is key. So straighten up that back, keeping ears, shoulders, and hips in a straight line. Good. Now squat by hinging at the hip. Keep everything aligned. Now sit. Perfect. Maintaining that posture through your day and work, any work, will reduce fatigue, eliminate strains, decrease stress on joints and ligaments, and have you feeling great. If posture is good, forces are evil. Why? Because they assault your posture constantly. There are lift and carry forces, grip forces, push and pull forces, and just plain old gravity. Hey, let's help you out with this. To avoid injury, don't lift, pull, or push too much. Let your posture guide you. And if need be, get help or use a hand truck or other tool. Also, move that body. If you stand up a lot for work, sit. If you've been sitting, stand up. Every change is an opportunity to realign and think about your posture. Our last Ergo 101 topic is repetitive motion. Doing the same task over and over and over and over and over and well, you get the point. Repetitive motions from jobs like these can cause carpal tunnel syndrome, joint problems, poor circulation, and more. Fortunately, these injuries are easy to avoid. First, by arranging your work area to fit you and support good posture, and second, by stretching. Stretches like this, or this, or this, well, maybe not that. Every 30 to 60 minutes can make a world of difference and prevent injury. Show off. Let's recap. Ergonomics is all about fitting your work environment to you. So set up your station to support good posture. Be mindful of posture, reduce forces, and take breaks to stretch and realign yourself. Do all that, and you'll be on your way to being more efficient, more productive, and healthier.
Unfortunately, harassment, bullying, and workplace violence occurs at work sites. We have developed a harassment and bullying prevention plan and a workplace violence prevention plan, which outlines how we address them. You will be receiving additional training on these plans. Bottom line, though, is Gabriel Industries does not tolerate harassment, bullying, or workplace violence. Communication is really important to us. It is two-way. We communicate about health and safety information to you by email, personally, or at safety meetings. You are required to attend meetings, and your feedback is important. The topics vary at our safety meeting. At Gabriel Industries, we believe your mental health is just as important as your physical health. So we have developed a number of ways to assist your psychological and emotional well-being. If you want more information, contact Murray. We have developed site-specific emergency response plans where rescue or evacuation is required. Examples are such things as evacuating a facility because of a fire or gas leak. You are required to participate in any emergency response exercise, and your feedback is always welcomed. Although it has been mentioned to you before, we want to reiterate to you, you must report unsafe act or conditions as well as defective equipment, machinery, or vehicles. If you do not tell us, how can we fix it? Unfortunately, even with our best intention, incidents occur. Incidents to us are injuries, property damage, near misses, occupational illness and work refusals, harassment, and workplace violence. Incident reports and first aid forms are completed in site docs. There is some additional information we need to go over with you about specific incidents. If you obtain medical aid, that is, you go see a doctor to a work-related injury, you will be required to complete a WCB form. And should there be any modifications to your work, you will assist in your return to work plan for medical aid injuries. Remember back at the beginning of this orientation, we mentioned you have the right to refuse dangerous work. At Gabriel Industries, no employee will carry out work if, on a reasonable and probable grounds, that the employee believes that there exists an undue hazard to their health and safety of that worker or others around that area. Let's watch a short video to go over the work refusal process.
You have the right to refuse unsafe work. That's right, you. If you're not trained to perform a task, if the proper equipment isn't available, or you think you or someone else is going to get hurt, stop and say no. Just like you have the right to say no if someone asks you to leave the house in your bathing suit and flip-flops in the middle of winter to make a snowman. You probably say, not interested, right? Or if I asked you to go on a tightrope with ravenous sharks swimming underneath, you'd probably say, that sounds like a really bad idea considering I have never walked a tightrope and there's no safety net preventing me from being eaten by the sharks. Any reasonable person would say, fair enough, that doesn't sound particularly safe and I don't want you to get hurt. But how do you know if it's unsafe when you're at work? What if you're nervous because it's something new? Well, it's unsafe if you're not properly trained. If you're asked to clean a deep fryer with boiling oil, you probably need to know what you're doing. That requires orientation and training. It's unsafe if you don't have the right equipment. If you're working with machinery and need safety goggles but they're broken, you're not going to be safe. Or if you're trying to grab something off the top shelf and your ladder is wobbly, that's just plain unsafe. And finally, it's unsafe if someone will likely get hurt and it's completely preventable, but you're asked to do it anyway. That person asking you might be your boss, who you're afraid might get angry with you if you say no, who will maybe even fire you. Believe it or not, you still have the right to refuse unsafe work. No one is angry when you're healthy and happy and walking down the street with a skip in your step, so the people who really care about you, they'll respect you for refusing unsafe work. Refusing unsafe work is in your rights. It protects you, your friends, and your job. Be safe by refusing to be unsafe.
We investigate our incidents through the use of psych docs by analyzing the causes to determine the immediate, basic, and root causes, which in turn help us recommend corrective action to be implemented to prevent reoccurrence. Unfortunately, sometimes employees willfully and purposely do not follow our safety rules. There are consequences to the action. Our rules of enforcement vary on the contravention, but remedial action can include verbal and written warnings, suspensions, and/or terminations. Visitors are the other people who frequent our office and warehouse. Visitors are required to complete an orientation through Site Docs. And lastly, we need to talk about our program as a whole. We strive for continuous improvement in our health and safety program. On a corporate level, we measure key performance indicators to assist us in identifying our successes and areas for improvement. We have covered a lot of material with you. You may be feeling overwhelmed, but please remember, we are a team. We look after one another. Welcome again to Gabriel Industries.